Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Welcome to the U.S.-China Economic and Trade Cooperation Forum. First, please allow me to extend my heartfelt appreciation to every one of you who are gracing us with your presence here today. Our special gratitude goes to the Consulate General of the People's Republic of China, the Asian American Business Development Center, the Business Council for International Understanding, the United States Council for International Business, as well as the China General Chamber of Commerce, USA, without whose joint effort today's event could not be possible. Thank you very much for your support and for your presence. First, allow me to introduce our distinguished guests who are present here today. Mr. Ren Hongbin, Chairman of the China Council for the Promotion of International Trade, CCPIT. Mr. Huang Ping, Consul General of the People's Republic of China in New York. Mr. Peter Tikansky, President and CEO of the Business Council for International Understanding, BCIU. Mr. John Wang, President of the Asian American Business Development Center. Mr. Declan Daly, Chief Operating Officer of the United States Council of International Business. Mr. Hu Wei, Chairman of the China General Chamber of Commerce, USA, the President of Bank of China, USA. Today, we are greatly honored to have the presence of many renowned American companies, representatives from the business associations and the local New York business communities. Welcome. And also this time, today's event have got quite positive feedback from the business communities. And by now, we have received around 300 registrations locally, and I think we have a large gathering today. And also, Chairman Ren Hongbin has led a large business delegation comprising of the representatives and the companies from the provinces and the regions of Zhejiang, Shanghai, Guangdong, mostly from the private sectors. And I think later, during the business networking session, you can have the business networking with each other. Without further ado, I think I'd like to invite our first speaker, Mr. Huang Ping, Consul General. Let's welcome.
Mr. Ren Hongbin, Chairman of CCPIT, Mr. Peter Tikansky, Mr. Daly, Mr. John Wang, Mr. Hu Wei, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. It is a great, great pleasure for me to be here with you. I once got a chance to come to this esteemed college to give a lecture. I haven't been in a college for a long time, so it was a very pleasant time, talking things about China with students. But today, we are gathered here to promote the business between China and the U.S. So I would like to first extend my warmest welcome to Mr. Ren Hongbin, the chairman of CCPIT, for traveling all the way across the Pacific to New York. Not as traveling is a long, long time journey. They just arrived here yesterday, and they've been on the plane for more than 15 hours. It's really not an easy job. And this delegation is among the more than 60 delegations from China since the beginning of this year. Everybody knows that President Xi and President Biden had a very nice meeting last November in San Francisco and reached lots of consensus. Since then, the relationship between China and the U.S. has been stabilized to a large extent, and the flow of the people from both sides are actually happening. So from the beginning of this year, I already got, in the first half of the year, more than 60 delegations from central government, from local government. Many of them are led by ministers, by governors and mayors, like the mayor of Shanghai, like the governor of Hainan, and many others. They all come to implement the consensus reached by the two presidents. And today we're here to welcome the delegation from CCPIT. I think they are the three big delegations coming here to promote the business. One was from CIIE. The delegation come to promote China International Import Expo and the Canton Fair, and also the Global Digital Trade Expo. So this delegation, led by Mr. Ren Hongbin, is coming to promote China's International Supply Chain Expo, which is going to be held in November this year. I think this will further add the impetus to promote the business relations between China and the U.S. Not long ago, the third plenary session of the 20th CPC Central Committee was successfully held. And this is the biggest event in China's domestic politics this year. It has sent a very strong signal to the outside world that China is going to continue with its policy of reform and opening up to the outside world. Regardless of things happening in this whole world, China will forging ahead, focusing on its destination of the modernization of China by 2035, along the road we call the socialism with Chinese characteristics. This is a very important meeting. It has further strengthened the policy that we are going to keep the door open wider. You know, the resolution is such a big book. If you want to read through, it's more than 20,000 words. But my understanding, the most important thing is, number one, China is going to continue with its opening policy, especially the institutional opening. Number two is to further extend the accessibility of the market. Number three is to make sure China will deepen the reform to make sure that foreign companies, foreign business in China are going to be treated like the Chinese companies there. So it's the so-called national treatment for all the companies to ensure that there is a fair competition in China. And this resolution will bring lots of good things to happen. I think first it will bring enormous market opportunities. If you read through the resolution, you will see that the central government has put through 300 concrete important reform initiatives, which will further give play to the role of the market, improve the basic market economic systems such as property rights protection, information disclosure, market access, and credit supervision, ensure enterprises participate in market competition fairly and in accordance with the law, and to build a unified national market. China is a huge, big market. It has already, in all these years, built up mid-income families like 400 million, And in less than 10 years, around 10 years, this number of middle-income families will be doubled. And it is estimated that every 1% increase in the share of the middle-income group would increase consumer spending by more than $150 billion per year. So this construction of the unified national market will further release a wider potential for domestic demand. What does this mean to the outside world? Because China now is part of the international history. China is an open economy. So the market potential further is released in China will bring lots of huge opportunities for cooperation. China imports $2.5 trillion of goods and services every year, and it ranks second in the world in attracting foreign direct investment. The third plenary session has once again clarified that China will expand the market access for goods. Now, we are going to buy more goods, service, capital, and labor in an orderly manner. Promote the opening up in the fields of telecommunication, internet, education, cultural, and medical care. Build a new open economic system with a higher level which will provide a broad market space and the cooperation opportunities for all countries in the world. So the Chinese market potential will bring lots of opportunities for cooperation between China and all the countries in the world, including the U.S. What does that mean for U.S. and China? Because we all know that China and the U.S., our economies are highly complementary, and economic and trade cooperation has always served as a bedrock and a propeller of this relationship in all these years since we normalized our relationship. We already had a trade volume which went higher. The highest was $760 billion 2 years ago. Now it has come back a little bit, dropped a little bit, but we still got more than 600 billion as trade partner, supporting over 2.6 million jobs in the U.S. And the stock of two-way investment exceeds $260 billion. We still have over 70,000 American companies working in China and generating annual profits of up to $50 billion. A lot more companies from China want to invest also in the U.S. Historical evidence has proved that when China and the U.S., when we cooperate, we both benefit, we both prosper. Fighting against each other is not going to lead us anywhere. So I really hope that we could seize this opportunity of China's continuation with its reform and opening policy, seize this momentum, and everything we can put our efforts into the further strengthening of this relationship and doing business with each other. So both countries and the whole world will benefit from this. I know the third China International Supply Chain Expo is going to be held for November by CCPIT. I have sent many invitations. I encourage all American business to go to Canton Fair. I encourage you to go to CIIE. Now I'm encouraging you to participate in the International Supply Chain Expo. And I think it will be a very successful one. It will further strengthen the business relations between China and the U.S. I hope you all go there to participate and bring lots of good efforts. Thank you.
Thank you, Consul General Mr. Huang Ping, for your warm opening remarks. And thanks for your thorough introduction and wishes for the future economic and trade cooperation between our two countries. Now let's warmly welcome our next speaker, Chairman Ren Hongbin, to give his visionary speech. Welcome.
Your Excellency, Consul General Mr. Huang Ping, Mr. Chichansky, President and CEO of the Business Council for International Understanding, Mr. Declan Daly, the Senior Vice President and CEO of USCIB, Mr. John Wang, Founder and President of the Asian American Business Development Center, Mr. Hu Wei, Chairman of the China General Chamber of Commerce, USA, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. I'm very privileged to have this opportunity standing here. And first of all, let me begin by warm welcome old and new friends to participate in today's event. And I just want to also extend my gratitude to the support given by our counterparts here in the U.S. So actually, when I informed by my colleagues that today's event should be participated around 100 people, but today more than 300 people come to the site to join this very important event. So I think this reflects the strong interest and confidence in the bilateral economic and trade cooperation and strengthening the business ties. So I'm very confident in the future outlook of the bilateral cooperation. So as President Xi Jinping pointed out, China-U.S. relationship is one of the most important bilateral relationships in the world. And economic and trade relations always serves the ballast of the bilateral relations. Over the past 45 years, since the establishment of the diplomatic ties, bilateral trade between China and the U.S. has risen from $2.5 billion in 1979 to more than $660 billion in 2023, actually increased by 265 times if we compare the 45 years growth. Two-way investment has grown from almost zero to more than $260 billion. In the first half of this year, according to our statistics, so our bilateral trade went up by 2.9% year on year. And especially the number of U.S. companies investing in China increased by more than 20%. So U.S. actual investment in China for the first half of this year actually doubled. So also showed the very big interest of American investment to China. So founded in 1952, CCPIT as the largest trade and investment promotion agency in China has been a contributor and a witness to China-U.S. economic and trade relations. Dating back to the early 1970s, prior to our diplomatic relations, CCPIT was appointed by the Chinese government as the only window for trade with the U.S. We have since then cooperated with our American counterpart, the U.S.-China Business Council, in organizing mutual visits, staging exhibitions in our two countries. Together and proudly, we have played a unique role in the normalization of China-U.S. relations. In recent years, We have further enhanced our engagement and communication with the U.S. business communities. We have hosted high-profile delegations for their China visits, including the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, the U.S.-China Business Council, and some well-known American CEOs. So we work closely with AmCham China and U.S. invested companies in China, supporting their development with our high-quality services, such as exhibition, mediation, arbitration, IPR protection services, etc. You know that last week we received the U.S. delegation headed by the chairman of FedEx as the chairman of U.S. CBC in China, and Foreign Minister Wang Yi and Vice Premier He Lifeng also received the delegation. So I think the visit in China is very successful. I think it was a very important event and time for the bilateral strengthening relations and understanding there. Also, the US-CBC delegation was also the first delegation from US after the third plenary session of 20th Central Committee of CBC. So it was very important. I think the US delegation has been fully informed and briefed about the whole holistic contents about the third plenary session. History and reality have both fully proved that we need to pool the strength from all parties to get the China-U.S. relationship. We look forward to joining hands with colleagues from all sectors to turn the San Francisco vision into reality and to further contribute to the sound, steady, and sustained growth of China-U.S. relations. Here, I would like to make following proposals. First, expanding cooperation scope. Under current circumstances, the common interest between China and the U.S. are increasing instead of decreasing. Whether in traditional areas like trade and agriculture, or emerging areas like climate change and artificial intelligence, companies of both countries have shared interests and broad cooperation prospects. In my delegation, there are heads of CCPIT branches of Shanghai, Guangdong, Inner Mongolia, and Guangzhou, as well as a dozen Chinese companies from sectors including agriculture, finance, logistics, manufacturing, science, and technology. They all have high expectations for strengthening the China-U.S. business ties. We will have extensive and in-depth exchanges with the U.S. federal and state government department and agencies, U.S. Chamber of Commerce, and business councils. We look forward to achieving concrete outcomes and cultivating new growth drivers through such communication and exchanges. Second, deepening investment cooperation. Since the beginning of the Chinese reform and opening up in 1978, a great batch of U.S. companies have invested and started business in China. They contribute to China's economic development and at the same time shared the dividend of the economic development of China. In recent years, the China-U.S. economic and trade cooperation has experienced ups and downs. Nonetheless, AmCham China's Business Climate Survey 2024 shows that half of the American companies still chose China as the top 3 destination of major investment. Over 90% of the American companies would continue doing business in China. I think this fully demonstrates the great magnetic effect of the Chinese market to American companies. In the first half of this year, China's GDP grew by 5% year-on-year, and the economy continues to recover and improve, remains on an upward trajectory, and also remains the largest growth momentum for the world economy. China is moving ahead China's modernization with high-quality development, which will unlock tremendous demand from sectors such as advanced manufacturing, new urbanization, consumer structure upgrade, green and low-carbon transformation. We welcome more U.S. companies to invest and grow their business in China and cash in on the development opportunities in the market. We will continue to provide high-quality services to U.S. companies in China. At the same time, we will support more capable Chinese companies to invest in the U.S. We hope the U.S. side provides an open and level playing field for the Chinese companies to invest here in U.S. Third, strengthening supply chain cooperation. China and the U.S. enjoy strong economic complementarities and have highly interwoven interests. Strengthening supply chain cooperation between the two sides is conducive to keeping the global industrial and supply chain stable and unfettered, and will contribute to economic growth of the two countries and beyond. So last year, 24 U.S. companies and agencies participated in the first International Supply Chain Expo, shortly CRSCE, so ranking top among international exhibitors. The second CRSCE is just around the corner. So far, more than 20 U.S. companies have signed up to participate in the second CRSCE. We sincerely invite more U.S. companies and agencies to attend the CRSCE. Ladies and gentlemen, friends, 10 days ago, the 20th Central Committee of the Communist Party of China successfully convened its third plenary session. So just a while, Consul General have also informed you about the basic, very important contents. I just want to reiterate and strengthen several things. The session adopted the resolution on further deepening reform comprehensively to advance Chinese modernization, which put forward over 300 important reform measures in various aspects of advancing Chinese modernization, and presented a full picture of further deepening reform comprehensively. The reform tasks laid out in this resolution shall be completed by the time the People's Republic of China celebrates its 80th anniversary in 2029. So actually, the 300 reform measures shall be completed within next 5 years. The resolution plans the way forward for opening up. It was stated that China will steadily expand institutional opening up, promote alignment with high-standard international economic and trade rules, and foster a first-rate business environment that is market-oriented, law-based, and internationalized. We will also open China's commodity, services, capital, and labor markets wider to the outside world in an orderly manner, appropriately shorten the negative list of foreign investment, effectively protect the legitimate rights and interests of foreign invested companies in China, and engage in international cooperation at a wider scope and deeper level so that its supersized market can be translated into opportunities for the world. So on a new starting point, CCPIT will build more bridges for friendly exchanges between Chinese and U.S. business communities and cultivate more bonds for practical cooperation so as to make greater contribution to a new chapter of China-U.S. economic and trade relations. Thank you for your attention. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman Ren Hongbin. Chairman Ren has been dedicated to the practical economic and trade cooperation between our two countries. He has met many top American CEOs and has established and maintained a very good cooperative relation with the leaders of business associations. Thank you very much, Chairman Ren, for your enthusiasm and dedication. And now, let's invite Mr. Peter Tikansky, President and CEO of BCIU, who will share his valuable insights. Let's welcome.
Thank you very much. Welcome to New York for the delegation that just arrived. We hope this trip will be a very fruitful one for you. I was touched when we received our applause when we were announced earlier. It immediately turned my mind to the Olympics, which are taking place this week, a forum which I think many of us here in the U.S. understand much better than we understand, for example, the 300 reforms announced at the third plenum. That is very obscure to so many of us. But what is not are some of the priorities which we also aligned on, like innovation, the energy transition, AI, chips, trade, tariffs. So when we talk with our business community, they are committed to China. They are the reason, in part, that the major trade relationship started in the first place. And similar to the career of Bernard Baruch, where we are today, he was a business statesperson who did his rotations in government with the ideal of people-to-people prosperity and people-to-people dialogue. So when our institution, which is a not-for-profit educational institution based here in New York, was established by President Eisenhower in 1955, the objective was also to build people-to-people ties, because government to government has its own rhythm, whereas the idea of peace through commerce and peace through trade is one that's rather universal, I believe, and enduring. So when talking with our partners at CCPIT a year ago, neither of us were very happy with the bilateral relationship. So we were beginning to talk about ways to find common ground. And it immediately led to the thinking around women empowerment, trade in sport, the cultural economies, and how the two countries' cultural economies are working and can deepen. So, as I think back again to the Olympics, I mean, China's either the U.S. or China, probably China wins many more medals. When we look at the age of the athletes from China, these are very, very young people. And I think it's up to us not to spoil it for the next generation. I think perhaps when I was pushing for World Trade Organization accession by China, when I just began my career at BCIU, and most favored nation status to make that permanent, we did this instinctively because we thought that peace through dialogue and peace through trade and commerce had been proven. And perhaps there was a level of naivete in that, but nevertheless we stick with this purpose as an institution to find counterparts, try and encourage the business community to inform the policy world, which very often is behind what the business community is doing, and to look for common purpose. And so, again, with perhaps a touch of naivete, but with quite a lot of hope, I look forward to seeing ways that CCPIT and BCIU can build a safer, more prosperous world together. And just to end by saying that these are really my own personal views and not of those 200 members of BCIU who fund the organization. But nevertheless, the theme, I think, of improved trade facilitation is one that they too would agree with. So I thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you, Peter, for your wishes to deepening the people-to-people exchanges in the future. And BCIU is quite supportive and quite active. This year, they have organized a business event to welcome Governor of Hainan Province, and they are quite active. And thank you very much, Peter, for your support. Now, let's warmly welcome Mr. John Wang, President of Asian American Business Development Center, to give us the remarks. Thank you.
Thank you. Ambassador Huang Ping and Chairman Ren Hongbin of CCPIT, welcome. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. And there is a privilege to address you all at the U.S.-China Economic and Trade Cooperation Forum this morning. This gathering symbolizes the robust and enduring partnership between our two nations as we stand at the crossroads of significant global challenges and opportunities. Our commitment to fostering economic collaboration and mutual understanding is more crucial than ever. The dialogue and cooperation we engage in today will shape the future of our economic landscape and ensure prosperity for both our countries. The U.S. and China have a long history of trade and investment that have benefited our partnership and created jobs and spur innovation. Our continued partnership will not only enhance bilateral relations, but also contribute to global economic stability and growth. Let us use this forum as a platform to deepen our understanding and economic ties, as well as address common challenges and explore new avenues for cooperation. By working together, we can build a future that is prosperous, sustainable, and inclusive for all. Thank you very much.
And John, thank you very much for your support. And as you may know that John Wang has organized a business delegation to attend last year's CISCE. And this year, today's forum has got great support from him, and he also has made a commitment to get involved in this year's CISCE. Thank you very much for your great support. And now, let's welcome our next speaker, Mr. Declan Daly, Chief Operating Officer of the United States Council for International Business, USCIB. Let's welcome.
Good morning. Thank you, CCPIT, for the kind invitation to speak here today. Over the years, USCIB and CCPIT have built a solid partnership. In 2022, our former president and CEO, Mr. Peter Robinson, sent a congratulatory video for CCPIT's 70-year anniversary, underscoring the enduring connection between our organizations that continues today. Next year marks the 80th anniversary of USCIB. USCIB is dedicated to advancing open markets, competitiveness, and innovation critical to the vitality of our member companies and to American companies' competitiveness in the global marketplace. We are an association of US-based global companies and professional services firms with over $5 trillion in revenue and 11.5 million employees, representing every sector of the US economy. Stability and secure trade and investment relationships, including with China, are paramount to our companies. China is America's third largest trading partner and one of the largest economies in the world. And the United States is the largest investor in China and Hong Kong. There is no doubt about the importance of this enormous economic relationship to USCIB members. USCIB has long advocated a policy of sophisticated engagement between the US and China, one that facilitates dispute resolution while promoting stability for American companies and their employees. We are encouraged by the current administration's efforts to resume bilateral dialogue and cooperation with China, a critical step in stabilizing relations that has been in a downward spiral for several years. The November 23 summit meeting between Presidents Biden and Xi in San Francisco and subsequent cabinet-level meetings are key to avoiding miscalculation and to managing this very important economic relationship. We are also encouraged by the administration's shift in focus from decoupling to de-risking economies, and we are a strong proponent of the federal government working closely with industry to develop policies and approaches that minimize unintentional economic harm while addressing discriminatory or unfair trading practices. It is time for the United States to re-engage with China on issues of concern in the trade relationship to find negotiated solutions to long-standing disputes. Toward that end, we would welcome establishing a regular bilateral dialogue, akin to the US-EU TTC or previous strategic and economic dialogue, to help address and constrain the scope of problems afflicting economic relations. Tying this together is the need for strong business engagement and collaboration, providing on-the-ground, pragmatic, and innovative practices that can inform and advance our mutual economic interests. As such, we value our partnership with sister associations, such as the China Council for the Promotion of International Trade, and look forward to our continued collaborations, including to our various affiliates, to advance better trade and open markets. Thank you.
Thank you, Declan. And as you may know that USCIB is an affiliate body of the business at OECD, ICC, and the International Organization of Employers. It is a very important organization, and it has been a long-time partnership of CCPIT in the United States. Now let's welcome to Mr. Hu Wei, Chairman of CGCC, to give us a speech. Let's welcome Mr. Hu.
Thank you, Mr. Shaw, for your kind introduction. Chairman Ren, Ambassador Huang, my colleagues, my friends here, thank you for the opportunity to work together with CCPIT to organize such an important event here. As we know, actually, on behalf of Bank of China USA and also the China General Chamber of Commerce USA, I'm really looking forward to working together with each of you to promote the trade and economic ties between two largest economies in the world. So as we know, China's evolving role in the global economy and the critical relationship China and the US have forged over the last 45 years will undoubtedly continue to be at the forefront for business leaders and policymakers over the next 45 years and beyond. Despite challenges and occasional rise in tensions, synergies between the two economies have fueled unprecedented growth and innovation. China and the US continue to have significant economic and trade ties that have brought mutual benefits to each other and contributed tremendously to global economic prosperity. It extended far beyond the media highlights and foster cultural exchange, promote mutual understanding, and pave the way for substantive cooperation in virtually every industry. So that is the reason why we held this kind of forum like this, and that's why actually both the Bank of China and also for the CGCC is here. So for the Bank of China, we have been here for more than 43 years. In the US, today, over 90% of our clients are American companies, and we are extremely proud of our track record and contributions to supporting economic and trade growth across the country. Also, we are working together with our sister branches across more than 60 countries, regions to support China's trade and economic ties with the rest of the world. Our role in facilitating trade and investment between the United States and China is a testament to our commitment to building bridges and bonds between our two nations. The same applies to CGCC USA. Actually, we are going to celebrate our 20th anniversary next year. So the CGCC is the largest nonprofit organization representing Chinese investors in the U.S. and has been playing a pivotal role in strengthening bilateral trade ties, promoting mutual investment, and fostering a deeper understanding and trust between the two largest economies. Our mission is not only to support our members in navigating the complexities of the U.S. market, but also to act as a bridge that connects business from both nations, facilitating dialogue, sharing insights and best practices, and creating opportunities for enhanced collaboration. So the Bank of China, USA, and CGCC continue to stand ready in supporting your endeavors and successful journey with the China International Supply Chain Expo. So despite challenges that are presented in today's global economy and in various geopolitical relationships, I firmly believe that together we can find ways to overcome these obstacles and strengthen ties that has brought millions of people and business prosperity, efficiency, and resiliency. So let us find resolve as we explore new frontiers and charter a course towards peace and prosperity. Thank you. I'm looking forward to joining you this November to Beijing to attend the China International Supply Chain Expo. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman Hu, for your great support. And Mr. Hu has just returned to New York midnight this morning. So he traveled 10,000 kilometers to attend today's event. Thank you very much. Because last year, if I remember correctly, he virtually attended our roadshow, the first roadshow, before he departed to China to attend the meeting. Thank you very much. And he also had a wonderful team, Candice and Abby. Thank you. And now let's welcome our last speaker, a very important boss and the organizer of the China International Supply Chain Expo, Mr. Lin Shunjie, chairman of the China International Exhibition Center Group Limited. Let's welcome Mr. Lin.
Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. My pleasure to be here and introduce you to the China International Supply Chain Expo. I think we probably need to make the room dark to show them my PowerPoint file, if you can still see me. So today we are witnessing a new round of industrial revolution driven by emerging technologies, particularly in artificial intelligence. And I will say many industries on this platform, on this planet, will have a deep restructuring very soon. And we all know the importance of international cooperation at this critical time. Unfortunately, the economic globalization is being jeopardized by the disruptions of supply chains. So therefore, consolidating and strengthening the supply chain cooperation has become the common interests and expectations of our business communities around the world. In this context, CCPIT hosted the first CISCE in Beijing last November. As mentioned by my boss, Mr. Ren Hongbin, 515 companies from 55 countries and regions exhibited at the expo, among which 26% of them were international exhibitors. What I would like to share with you is that many world-renowned American companies were there at the first CISCE, such as Apple, Tesla, Honeywell, ExxonMobil, Qualcomm, Intel, and some of them represented by senior representatives today here. The first CISCE attracted over 100,000 visits, with more than 200 agreements signed with a total amount of over $23 billion. We are pleased to announce that the second CIICE will take place from November 26th to 30th this year in Beijing again. The second CIICE will showcase 6 major chains and 1 supply chain service area. Let's look into the first chain, the advanced manufacturing chain. This chain will show 4 sections, major sections of global advanced manufacturing, from front-end R&D, application of new materials, processing of key components to intelligent manufacturing. And we look into the first case of Tesla. Let's see Tesla. Tesla disassembled its Model Y into a lot of spare parts labeled by different local suppliers. And actually it presented the Gigafactory model of over 95% localization to us. The localized supply chain system ensures this EV giant to produce a car in every 40 seconds in China. And for the second edition, inspired by my boss, Mr. Ren, Mr. Elon Musk showed strong interests in advanced manufacturing instead of a smart vehicle. He plans to show more very futuristic stuff related to brain-computer interface and robots. I'm really looking forward. And this case of Honeywell. Last year, Honeywell displayed their sustainability technologies, including renewable aviation fuel and smart factory solutions. They formed partnerships with a lot of Chinese high-emission companies at the expo to support them to reduce energy consumptions. This year, Honeywell will showcase smart manufacturing technologies of construction in the advanced manufacturing chain. Other leading companies, including Corning, Siemens, China Aluminum, have confirmed their participation in this chain. Then the second chain, the clean energy chain, focusing on source-grade load and storage. This chain will highlight full circle of a clean energy from supply to consumption. Last year, ExxonMobil and China National Offshore Oil Corporation, CNOOC, together exhibited their joint venture corporation, a large-scale offshore CCS and CCUS hub project, which indicated the huge potential between Chinese and American companies to work together on the clean energy and climate change. Other confirmed companies to the second CIICE include the Royal Golden Eagle Group from Indonesia, Work from Germany, China State Grid, and Sinopec. The smart vehicle chain, let's see this chain. This chain will display key technologies and the products of the whole industry, including core raw materials of batteries and car chips at the upstream, car batteries and intelligent connected technologies as a midstream, and system integration and EV services, including charging system and battery recycling as a downstream. This year, we will have Bosch, Rio Tinto, AGC, CATL, and Geely, and other leading companies in this chain with us. At the first CIICE, Bosch, they showcased its smart driving solutions developed by its local Chinese team. Rio Tinto last year also displayed a wide range of materials, including iron, copper, and aluminum for automotive body and components manufacturing in the smart vehicle chain. It also spotlighted its smart team technology platform, a blockchain-based solution for supply chain traceability. Rio Tinto made dozens of Chinese car makers last year, and a lot of brainstorming took place among them. The digital technology chain, this chain concentrates on innovation and empowerment, covering bottom-level technology transformation, mid-level industry incubation, and up-level application scenarios. This year, we will have Google, Qualcomm, SAP, Micron Technology, HP, Lenovo, and Alibaba with us. Apple, who had never participated in any exhibitions around the globe, they selected 3 unique Chinese suppliers to showcase at the first CISCE. The 3 suppliers displayed their intelligent manufacturing, processing technology, and talent development capacities, and help more potential suppliers in China to understand the criteria and the system of the Apple supply chain. Qualcomm, they showcased the cutting-edge hardware and software developed by Chinese suppliers, including the first smartphone with a Chinese language model embedded, and the next generation of a smart vehicle. They aim to attract more capable suppliers in China by highlighting their supply chain standards and system. A very interesting chain, the Healthy Life chain. This chain will showcase the entire life cycle from birth to senior care by key products and technologies in the health industry. Confirmed participants include GE Healthcare, P&G, Budweiser, Novo Nordisk, AstraZeneca, Philips, and Panasonic. At the first edition, GE Healthcare set up a huge booth in cooperation with China's Sinopharm Group to showcase their 30-year cooperation and release new brands of their joint venture. And these efforts fully demonstrated the win-win supply chain cooperation between Chinese and American companies. The green agriculture chain, this chain will showcase different elements across the entire agricultural chain from farm to table. Confirmed leading companies include Cargill, the U.S. Soybean Export Council, the U.S. Grains Council, Jarvis Machinery, Yara, a Norwegian fertilizer company, Fonterra, CP Group from Thailand, and Syngenta. At the first CISCE, Cargill showcased its collaboration with upstream suppliers and downstream users in China. For the second one, Cargill will work with Chinese leading companies to launch an initiative on the decarbonization of the whole agricultural supply chain and food with other leading agriculture and food companies. And this is the interaction between big companies. Let's look into the case of SME story. Jarvis Machinery. It's a slaughter and a meat processing machinery company based in the state of Connecticut. Set up their factory in Beijing in 2006. At the first CISCE, they, as an exhibitor at the Ministry of a Green Agriculture chain, showcased their business model. They import special steel from the United States and produce in China and sell products globally. Jarvis received a lot of potential buyers from different Chinese provinces. They are very proud of having such potential buyers in China. The supply chain service area. This area unveils the demand of its field divided into 2 sections. One is comprehensive logistics and the other integrated services. At the first CISCE, the world's 3 shipping giants, Danish Maersk, French CMA CGM, and the Swiss MSC, gathered in the shipping logistics sector of the supply chain service area. For the second CISCE, we'll have more financial service companies, including HSBC, Mizuho Bank, Visa, MasterCard, to showcase their customized services related to the 6 chains, as I mentioned. So many people ask me, why CISCE could be so successful just within 1 edition, when it usually takes 3 to 5 editions to cultivate a large-scale international expo? I would say the success of CISCE relies on its far-reaching purposes. It responds to the concerns of global business communities about the security and the resilience of industrial and supply chains. International companies shows very strong interests in CICE for the reasons of its innovative exhibition logic and presentation style. CICE maintains very unique exhibitions logic. As the world's first expo with a theme of supply chain, the CICE focuses on the entire ecology of the industrial chains, different from traditional commodity fairs concentrated on the same category of products. We, on the other hand, we stress the unique position of exhibitors in the supply chain. The CICE selects 7 most promising industrial chains as major contents and segments each chain into upstream, midstream, and downstream. Exhibitors at the CICE are either leading companies covering the entire supply chain, or specialized or innovative companies incorporated into the supply chain. At a traditional trade show, you can always find competitors around you, and you want to know everything from your neighbors, but want them to know nothing about you. So at a CICE, you will only meet potential partners at your neighboring booths. No competitors. Exhibitions at the CICE inspire each other on both demand and supply sides, forging long-term and stable supply chain cooperation. The purpose of CICE is very different from traditional expos. CICE concentrates on the collaboration and the innovation of the industrial and supply chain cooperation. Of course, we are happy to see exhibitors making deals at the expo, but we pay more attention to formation of a partnership between upstream and downstream. The ultimate purpose and most valuable part of this expo are to help participants achieving better layout, lower cost, and a higher efficiency of their supply chain. The deliverables of CICE is much more beyond an exhibition. From the perspective of investment promotion, traditional expos only promote trade, but CICE is a perfect platform for both companies and governments to get investment. For innovative SMEs, they have a very good chance to get integrated into the supply chains of big companies, or get investment from them. For companies looking into the international market, we provide opportunities for them to contact with foreign governments or business associations. Last year, many foreign governments sent senior official delegations to CICE. Why? Because they believed it is a perfect platform for them to attract industrial chain investment. I met with Minister of Investment of Saudi Arabia last June. He told me that Saudi governments have made big efforts to get Chinese investment from big companies. They want them to manufacture in their countries. But after 2 years or 3 years, he told me these companies, Chinese companies, all left. Why? Because Saudi Arabia doesn't have a complete industrial system like China has. So even the whole Middle East area, the region doesn't have. He said to me, Saudi government must change the strategy of attracting Chinese investment. And they have decided to set up industrial zones for Chinese companies from the same supply chain, the same industrial chain, particularly the smart vehicle chain and clean energy chain. That's the reason why they value CICE as a very ideal platform for them, because it can help them understanding the whole supply chain and the most important players of each link of the supply chain. I think he's very smart, and the initiative of this Saudi government is very right. So from the perspective of a government-business dialogue, the Expo is an excellent reciprocal platform as well. many exhibitors responded that it was beyond their expectation that the expo did bring them competent government agencies. At the first expo, 25 ministries and commissions of Chinese central government visited the expo. Senior officials believed the expo served as a good chance for them to understand the trends and the problems of the whole industrial chain. They had in-depth communications with exhibitors while experiencing their cutting-edge technology and products, and hearing their true demands from the companies. So from the perspective of collaboration among industry, academia, research, and application, the CIICE is a perfect platform to combine scientific research and education with industry. Through CIICE, R&D staff in a company could gain a broader sense, a broader vision on each link of the industrial chain, and might get inspired by upstream innovation and downstream demand. Last year, we invited more than 700 scientists to visit the expo. They found huge opportunities to market their research and innovation. The CIICE also attracted extensive global attention. Since the beginning of this year, we have organized roadshows in over 30 countries, including this one right now in the States. A lot of leading companies expressed their strong interests of participation. Apart from that, many governments and business associations have promised to organize senior delegations to Beijing. A total of 24 U.S. companies participated in the first edition of CIICE, and this year I would say very likely we will have more American companies. That ranked the highest number among foreign exhibitors. I think this number means a lot. At the CIICE, Chinese and U.S. companies still share the firm belief that with business cooperation is beneficial to both sides, and the resilience of the international supply chain is important to both sides. CIICE definitely is the perfect place for us to get closer and get success. The organizer of CIICE, my company, China International Exhibition Center Group, is a leading company in Chinese exhibition industry. And we are a company at the CCPIT. We organize numerous exhibitions, domestic and international exhibitions every year. We will provide you the best exhibition service to participating in the CIICE. Once again, I would like to invite you to Beijing this November. The opening of the CIICE is scheduled on November 26, 2 days before you enjoy your Thanksgiving turkey. So you may find the latest information from our website and FB account. Thank you all. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chairman Lin, for your very thorough introduction so that we know much better about the China International Supply Chain Expo. Thank you, because this year's event is going to be held during the Christmas time, so I think we welcome you to visit China with your family, with your kids, to see with your own eyes. Thank you very much, and also thank you, Chairman Lin, for the gifts, because on your chairs, the gifts are contributed by the China International Exhibition Group. Thank you very much. And now we come to the end of the speech session, and because China International Chamber of Commerce has organized the business delegation to visit the United States, we welcome you to have the business networking, to make a full use of the time to be here, and we wish a great success of the event. Thank you very much for your support. Thank you very much for your presence here today.